Okay, so we have this CDAP standalone running now. Version is 4.1.1. As you can see over here, this is the version running. So what we could do is the pipelines that you're seeing over here are all the ones we've been playing with. So the one that Ravi built was somewhere here. Which one is that?
You can click on the pipelines on the top, very top. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, right. That is easier, right?
Yeah,
So
and the very first one.
oh, here it is, this IBM stock one. And then
Yeah.
there's this one he's playing with, but this is the one he built. So you can explain this out, Ravi. I'll stop sharing. You can share. So just for a quick recap.
This is the one the same that we did last week?
Yeah. So I just thought we'll just do a quick recap of that and then we'll proceed to what I built.
It's a stock one. Yeah.
The stock one, right? Yeah. IBM stock one, right? So you could share it, Ravi, and explain it a bit. Incidentally, Ravi is going to be the Hadoop instructor. We are starting a batch. This today is what? Thursday, tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So Ravi is going to take this one, the Hadoop batch, coming batch. Yeah, I think he's had sufficient practice with us. He's one of our students who came here and was in the classroom training. So
yeah, I had no prior experience with big data until last year, middle of last year, when I showed up for the Hadoop professional certificate, and I thoroughly enjoyed the introduction to that course.
Right.
Okay, this is the one that I demonstrated last week. It is called the stock processing pipeline, and it is already in deployed mode because I was able to thrash out all the bugs and kinks during preview mode and get it working. And what you currently see here on your screen is the deployed version of it, and it has 9 stages. And the first stage is to read the input file. The second stage is to drop the header row from the input file. The third stage is to drop the offset column, which shows the byte offset of the beginning of each line, each row in the input file. The fourth stage is to give names to individual columns because the entire row in the beginning, in the prior 3 stages, is being treated as a single string. So you want to separate that into individual columns. The separator is already embedded in the input file, and it is the comma. And then the fifth stage is to retain only the columns we're interested in this case, the year column and the opening price of the stock for every day. The sixth stage is to convert the year and extract only the year portion from the date. So get rid of the month and the day. And the seventh is to convert the year, which is a string, into an integer. The eighth stage is to aggregate over the year and compute the average price for the opening stock price. And then final stage is to write the output back to a simulated HDFS environment. And just as a recap, I will.
And it works on Windows.
Windows, yeah. And this what I showed it. I made it run on Windows in both using a MapReduce engine and a Spark engine, and I copied over that file over to the Hadoop cluster. Hadoop Express cluster, although it is not in distributed mode, over there also it's in standalone mode, but I was able to run it successfully there also. So the underlying platform Windows works for this particular pipeline example, and the underlying platform of Linux, that also, it works on that also.
Perfect.
And here is the header, the input file. I'm just going to show you the top few lines of that. So the very first line is the header, which identifies the names of the various columns. And then the second line onwards are all the individual lines which will be read in. And while reading in this file, each line is treated as a string. So if you look at the configuration, I'm using a runtime parameter called over here input underscore path to specify the path from where to read the input file, and it will be read in as a key value offset. That's a typical HDFS Hadoop input style text format, the way the offset is the byte position of the starting of each line. So the very first, the header row will be having an offset 0, and then the rest of the line is treated as a body. So the data types are long and string. Then in the second stage, that offset and body, which is the input, I'm applying a very small JavaScript uh, function on it to get rid of the very first header row, and then retain the rest of the file in the still as a key value pair, offset and body. Then in the third stage, the input which is coming as offset and body, I am dropping the offset field because I'm not interested in the byte position of each row. I'm only interested in the entire row itself. So I retain only that entire row, and it continues as a single field, name body of type string. Then in the fourth stage, because each row is already comma separated, I mean each column in every row is comma separated, as you can see here. I use that as the default delimiter to pass the input string and map it onto these column names which I have chosen on the right. In the next stage, I'm only interested in the first two columns, date and open. So the output of the previous stage becomes the input of the current stage. And I want to get rid of these remaining 5, which I specify here, fields to drop, and convert open, which is of type string, into a double. And then in the next stage, I extract the year part from the date. The date is coming in as a string, and I found out that this is the format you have to specify to map the input components of date to the particular component I am interested in, and generate still the same. In the output also you still get 2 fields, but I'm renaming the date as year because this has only year in it, no month and date. And then in the next stage, I'm converting the year, which is a string, into an integer type because I need to group over this particular field in the next stage. That's what's happening over here. I'm grouping by year and telling it to aggregate over this next field, next column, which is called open, and average it out, and store the result in a new field called average open. That will be the output shown here. And then in the final stage, I take the year and the average opening price for the stock for that entire year and dump it out into the output path, which is again a runtime variable. So I can point it to different paths when I execute it. And we already saw the output. Last time as I showed it. This shows the average opening stock price for every year. And note that it is not sorted because this is the output of a reduce phase, and the reducers never sort their output.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing too, because in MapReduce, when you run as a map-only job, the output does get sorted.
Yes.
So I was trying to see if I could make that happen. I couldn't. So there must be a way to get it sorted, or we can ask it from Cask.
Oh, you mean get the output of reducer sorted, or the?
No, I mean to say, now that you have this output in HDFS, it should be possible to run a map job, which will simply do nothing but dump all of this.
Yeah, I can attempt that. That's a good. Yeah, I can attempt that.
Then it should actually sort the output, because as a MapReduce job without reducers, the mapper always sorts its output.
Yes.
When the mapper runs, so it
Yes.
so
I will do that small exercise later today. Just read this in output that's been generated and rewrite it again as a new sorted output.
Yeah, I think I tried to do a quick one and I could not. I found that I don't know what it's doing, but it didn't give me a sorted output. But try it out, maybe.
Yeah, I'll try it. And over here you can choose, because this is deployed. So I already chose MapReduce, and it works in. If you look at the Spark version of it, which also I deployed, over here I've chosen Spark. This also works on Windows, and both the same things. The MapReduce also works on the Hadoop cluster, which is Linux based, and the Spark version also works there. The only thing is the Spark is timing out, but automatically. But after a few minutes, it does stop by itself, but it is successful. It does not fail on the Linux platform.
Okay. And on Windows, it does not give any errors, or does it on Spark? How does it?
On Spark, let me see. This is in Spark. I can look at the logs here.
Yeah.
Oh, let me run this first, then I'll generate the logs. Because this is deployed already, so I can run it any number of times I want.
Yeah, but you'll have to give the parameters, input path.
I will have to give the parameters and remove the output directory first, otherwise it will complain.
Right.
So let me just remove the output
Or you can
directory.
send the output to another directory. That way it won't have a problem.
Okay, now I can point it. I had stored the file somewhere. One moment. Okay, so let me run this. Input path it's asking for. I will just cut and paste this path which I saved last time.
This is useful because this way, if we are building a new pipeline, we can see what Ravi did for his output directory and all that. Locally, like escaping the backslashes and all that. Sometimes
I have a
otherwise.
silly question.
Huh?
I have a really silly question.
Okay, go ahead.
So now, easy understandable that, we're transforming the data before we actually do any serious processing on it, getting rid of headers, and organizing it for the final process. We're doing a compute of the averages. But hypothetically, I would imagine that the only time that the back engine really gets involved is when you're doing the computational steps.
No, it even writes when it does the actual transfer from your local disk to
Right.
the HDFS, it still writes a code for generating the Hadoop code.
Okay,
Yeah,
this is.
But the actual efficiencies that come in from using, big data type of platform really only come into play probably during the calculation step for the average.
Not calculation, it is during the parallel processing.
Right, but during the calculation when it's doing the averages or whatever you're doing, the processing step.
Especially when the volume was set,
Right.
It's huge.
Now the real question I have is sometimes you have to do things as a sequence. I don't have an example now, but for instance, you might have wanted to get the averages the first time. Now the next thing you want to do is, I don't know, get the mean of the averages or the next step. So would you build another pipeline using that HDFS as the input for the next step?
Now what you could do is, let's say you're first doing, there are a couple of things you can do. One is that when you're generating the output, if you want the mean to go into one file and averages to another,
right?
Let's say median to go into one file and average to another, you could create two different files which can be stored in HDFS. Right. If you want them both to be in the same file, then, if you want to first calculate the mean, or you could, there are possibilities of doing forking and all that.
You could do that, yeah. But the question I have a little bit, knowing that, but now just to see what you can do with this type of technology, right? If I have already a result set already and I want to do additional processing on the result set, that for instance, in this case, the file of all the averages and it's spread across all of these reduced files.
Right.
Can you use that as an
input
to something
But
else?
then you'll have to build another pipeline.
Attach one more pipe.
That's true.
Yeah. But then you'll have to run a separate pipeline because you created the sync. Once you have the sync, it's the end.
Right. But now, okay, and that's why you have everything that has to go to a single directory because the program is smart enough to know to concatenate everything. That was right. That was where I was going.
Right. So it's going through stage by stage by stage till it reaches the sync.
The end outcome of all this exercise is basically your end result always works on a fixed data at the end. I mean, how do you arrive at a fixed data? From a variable data. I mean, so you're trying to build a streamline or a pipeline from the variable that occur on a day-to-day basis and try to give it some sense and get it to a static format. Okay, and then you have another process. Once you have reduced it to the required content, you have a process in place to do whatever calculations you want.
Right.
And tomorrow your business changes and you want to improve or make changes to your calculations, you put your add-ons to the...
Yeah, got it. But then so my real question was, once you completed your calculations, if you could reuse the output as an input to another pipeline.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
And,
That's a very good question, because
that's what
I wanted that too. Because, like just now, in this case, Ravi's output is not sorted. He might.
Well, that's the same kind of thing. He said he's gonna run it. and
Now he'll
sort
have to
it.
write a separate pipeline,
Right.
which will take the input from this pipeline's end result,
Right.
and then throw it again into some HDFS or something.
Or what I will attempt is later on, I will clone this pipeline and add another stage after HDFS to see if it can read back that input. And
Beyond the HDFS over here, you cannot add something. When you have a sync, there is input to it.
No, I got that. Yeah.
There only
That
gets the
pipeline,
input.
right.
There's no output.
oh, okay. Or maybe I can introduce some JavaScript type of stage in before that to sort it and then write the output.
In the pipeline, you start with a source, you end with a sink.
Right.
The moment you reach the sink,
Right.
you cannot attach another.
Yeah, anything has to be before that, or
It can still be HDFS, right?
So you
Can
make
be
a new
HDFS, but
pipeline.
then it should be a source, not a
Right, it'll
sink.
be a source. The sink will become a source for the next pipeline.
The sink cannot become a source.
That's
to
what I'm
another
asking.
one.
That's
Right,
what I'm asking.
Right. It
You know,
cannot.
you're telling me that the last HDFS, I cannot put a connector out of it?
No.
Or you can't just say this
Because
is
you've now, this is the end. It's like you reached the
But that's
dead
fine.
end.
But can you look at it as like it's something brand new?
Right.
Like it's a new source.
Yeah, for a
That's
new,
what I'm saying.
if you start with a new pipeline, you will say, okay, my source is a file.
You're sitting in
It won't be HDFS. It will be a file. You see, if you
That's
look
the
at,
question.
I'll show you in a while, but
Yeah.
essentially when you're building a pipeline, you pick up from those either source or you have a transform or
Yes.
you have a sink.
Right.
So if you're trying to start something like this HDFS sink that you made here,
Right.
this is the sink,
That's
but
it's
not
the
a
same.
source.
But now if I look at the file system, right, just as a file that's sitting on an operating system,
Yeah.
it could be anything I want it to be. Now I want it to be my source.
Agreed. What he's saying is, when you are building a pipeline, pipe will always have a source and a sink.
Yeah.
But then, for that
For that
schema,
pipeline, right.
that's it.
That's
That's it.
it.
Now I want a new
But
one.
I can attach,
That's what I'm
take
saying.
that, I can take that
Right.
and
That's
build
what I'm
another schema.
Right.
Absolutely new pipeline.
New
That's what I'm
pipeline.
saying. Yeah.
And then
But
make
I
that one.
cannot go and modify this guy and
No.
Right,
take
no.
this guy, the output.
Yeah.
It's basically concatenating these different pipelines.
Correct. Like I cannot attach another node to this HDFS.
No,
because
not
that's the
there.
sink. Right there, that's it.
In this particular diagram,
No,
but
right.
conceptually, yes, you can write another pipeline where you pick up that.
No, but you can only have, I think you can only have one pipeline per,
You only have one
That's what I'm saying.
But it could
Yes,
be an
but
output.
then I can create another pipe.
yeah, you
right?
could create a separate one.
Using
Yes.
the
Using
output
this
of-
output
that's
of
right.
this, then in that case, the input, the first box
Right.
would be as a source. The
Right,
source
that's
will
what
be not a HDFS, it will be a file.
I don't know why they put that limit.
Yeah,
So you have to
we can
concatenate
tell them
all?
to actually allow it to become more flexible,
So you
then
have
that
to
will work.
concatenate everything to make it a file now.
Right.
yeah. So we can see that this has succeeded successfully. And why I started was to check the logs, so there are no errors being shown here in the Spark mode like we see in Linux.
Right. That I have to figure out why is it showing
Yeah, it's not happening here on Windows.
as Windows.
And the
Run it
output,
in the Spark mode
yeah,
of HDFS, then it actually is throwing up errors. Instead of MapReduce, if you use Spark,
yeah, the output has been generated.
errors. But he's not getting those errors
Yeah.
on the Windows side. So I don't know what it is. It's maybe the Spark jobs running on our Unix servers are trying to look at some environment variables, I'm thinking, which might be conflicting or something. So we have to check out what's going on. So great. Any other questions for Ravi? Otherwise, I'll show you.
I think I asked my stupid question already.
Okay, thanks, Ravi. I'll take control and I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you what I'm doing. So let me share my screen.
Ravi's screen.
Yeah, it's still showing 1 second.
1 minute. Okay, now I've stopped.
Yep, no problem. I could have taken control. I'll have to go to another computer for it. Okay, so right here, so Ravi has stopped sharing. So I'll show you like what are the pipelines available. So these are the pipelines available, right? I tried to build this one. This is called, for net serpents, we are building this was an actual problem I encountered last week. I was trying, because Hena from our company, she's in the marketing side. So she was building up a spreadsheet, which was having all our contacts with email IDs, names and email IDs. She was having a hard time because she wasn't able to because there are hundreds of email IDs we've got. So she cannot make out, did I already type in this one earlier or not? So is like Walter already there, or am I redoing it? There are duplicates. So I wanted to simplify it for her so that all the duplicates are removed from the spreadsheet she was building, because these email IDs are going to go into thousands. So you can lose track how many times I've already inputted this guy. So, and she doesn't want to keep track, or she'll have to eyeball it, or go back and forth to figure out, is this already in there? Because later on we'll be using MailChimp and other software to send email blasts out and all that kind of stuff, right? So to simplify that for her, I said, okay, what you can do is give me your spreadsheet and I will deduplicate it. So any duplicate email IDs or names will be out of it. So that's what I did. I very quickly was able to do this. I just I created a stream. So the first node over here is a stream, which is give it any label. I gave it this label, and nets CRM, and duration, you can give anything. This duration implies how long is I think CDAP going to try before it gives up the stream, something like that. It's not like your stream will not be available after a day or something. It's like the max amount of duration that it's going to run as it's running your pipeline, right? Something like that. So the stream, it gives 1 day's full duration to enable it to run that data set, something like that. And then there's that's all you need to give. In the format I gave a CSV. So I took a comma separated values, from Hena. So she gave me that. And then the output over here is, this is the default output it shows. There will be a timestamp and a header always when you have a stream. And then I put in as name and email, because those are the 2 columns that we want out. So I added these 2, right? From the stream, so the input is already decided. It's a spreadsheet. So the way you do it, I think in this actions, there's export, but when you're creating a stream initially as an object, at that time, it allows you to upload the data set from your local drive. Yeah. So at the time you're creating a stream, you can do that. So that's what I did. So essentially, you on your left-hand side on Cask Hydrator, you have the stream object. So you drag drop that. When you're building that, you have an option to import the data from your local drive. So you just kind of upload. So you upload that. That's what I did for this. So I'm sending the output of the stream into a CSV parser, which I think we've used earlier, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is just taking the name and email. I need to drop out these 2 columns, timestamp and header. So the output over here is just gets dropped out. We don't care. This timestamp and header is something which automatically CDAP builds. So it just puts in a timestamp of the date and time that the load is going on. And it's the same constant value. So you just don't want it. And you don't want headers it automatically creates. So I just dropped those 2 and just took the name and email as the output from here. So that's the simple CSV parser. After it's parsed out, I'm sending an output to HDFS and an error collector. I had to build an error collector because if there's something wrong in this stage, which means in your name and email, let's say there are null values or something, CDAP may not like it and start throwing errors.
You can already see one thrown.
Yeah, so if you get into the error collector, it collects the errors for you. So it just, it's another object I created. It's taking the name and email again, and it's sending. You don't have to do anything in this one. You can just leave everything blank. Just like drag and drop an error collector, send this output into error collector. That way your program won't bomb, meaning if it runs into an error, it won't stop and say, okay, you have errors. You don't even know what the hell is going on, right? I got the message in their output saying, in the log file saying that you have not specified any error collector. So, the whole pipeline is stopped and, go figure out. So I just said, all right, let me put an error collector there. So as soon as I had that, the pipeline didn't stop. It was like, it went all the way through and dumped something in HDFS. Otherwise it wasn't going there if I didn't have the error collector. So with this, now it sends all the clean records over here into this. So you have to give the full HDFS path. So it's HDFS://. And then I have to give the public DNS name of our cluster, of our server, :9000/input/net. So this is actually the Hadoop cluster that is running on our server in the cloud, right? So it actually sends the output out there. So maybe, Ravi, if I didn't specify it like this.
No, it won't work. I tried that.
Right, it won't work, right?
Yeah.
On a Unix server. But on your Windows, when you're sending it to HDFS.
On my Windows, what I did was, when I'm sending to HDFS, I'm mapping it to C drive.
Yeah, you would write :something. Right?
Yeah, but I have to specify in Unix style the / instead of \.
And then it does it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do something like that, or it doesn't work, you're saying, on Unix, is it?
No, on Unix, no, it won't. Because on Windows, you just use C: and then convert the backslashes into /. No need to specify machine name or port number.
But in that case, on your Windows, you don't have a cluster running, like a Hadoop cluster running, but it still dumps the output.
Yes.
It
Yes.
just the files, local file system.
Yeah, but in your case also, it does not matter because it's not a distributed mode actually. It's a standalone. But because it's on Linux, you have to specify the Linux path.
Yeah, but see over here, this path that I'm giving, path to an HDFS system which is running on that Linux machine.
That's a URI.
It's a URI. So I could, instead of saying HDFS: something, I could probably give it also something like file : / maybe. And then it will dump it on the local Unix directory instead of putting it.
No, because the plugin you have chosen is a HDFS sync plugin. So you have to specify the HDFS path.
HDFS path. But you also chose HDFS, didn't you, when you did it on Windows?
Yes, but it is on Windows. So it's smart enough to figure that on Windows. Because HDFS doesn't run on Windows, so it's internally.
It's geared only for Windows then.
Yeah.
What I was thinking was, let's say if I didn't have Hadoop running on our Unix server in Amazon, and then if what do I specify here in that case? If I'm running, standalone CDAP with no cluster running, will it work or will it not work? I haven't tried that.
Here also, he tested on Windows, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have
Hadoop.
He said in a Unix box,
if I don't have Hadoop, it should work, right? Right. But then what do I specify in this path? I'm confused on that. So maybe
what did he specify?
He specified C: / and escape the backslashes and then gave.
No escape, just Unix style format /.
Simply, Unix style C: /
Why can't you do the Unix style?
Maybe it will. I don't know. He's saying he tried and it didn't work. So on the Unix server, we can clone and try. Yeah, that's fine. So that's how, this pipeline is the one that I built, and this error collector also I'm sending to HDFS. I gave another path for that.
So before introducing the error collector, it was bombing.
Yeah.
So there is some error. And what is that error actually? Did you see it?
When the CSV parser was working, I think in the input file there were some emails which were null. So the email was not was there, or the name was null and the email was
okay.
The email was there, so it was crapping out. So because that null condition needs to be handled.
Like blank.
Yeah, right. So
Blank
that,
would have gone through probably.
yeah. But I didn't have to write any line of code in this. And this works. It succeeded. For the duplicates, you're right. So in this one, I did not remove there's a good point you caught. So because I then built another pipeline. First, I just made this one succeed. I think I named this one then. This one right here. So out here, I made it a little more complex than that one. So this time it was the same thing, CSV file from HDFS. That's what it is. This time I'm taking the one that was dumped in Hadoop. See? Now this becomes the input, like you had this question.
Right.
So the output of the previous one is the input for this one.
Okay.
So I'm taking the output that came from the previous one and this one.
Right.
And it's a CSV file lying in HDFS now. So the input will be not deduplicated. So when I pick this up, this is the source. I am saying the path, and so this particular object over here, when you go to Cask Hydrator, I picked it as the source to be a file. Right? So it's a file kind of a source. There is nothing called HDFS in that source part. So you have to pick either a file. You could pick up a Excel. So I picked file, and when you pick the file, you specify HDFS as your scheme here. So it automatically assumes it's coming from a Hadoop cluster and picks the file from there.
But if it was a plain Unix thing,
Yeah, if it was a plain Unix file, you give the full Unix path over here. You will, in that case, instead of HDFS : / you will do file : / So that takes the local file system then, not Hadoop.
But there you specify the directory for the Hadoop files.
no, the HDFS indicates that it's a Hadoop cluster, and then you give the where the cluster is sitting. That
Right,
Amazon, blah blah blah.
But the actual,
Oh, he's saying that when
you don't
you
grab the file
made the
name,
dump,
you go to the directory.
initially, when we created the entire thing into HDFS, he's saying like that dump, you don't specify a file name, it's just a directory you specify. And because it runs as a MapReduce job, the end result would be some part, something.
It always has to be directory.
Right, it has to be directories. Over here, I'm giving that directory as the source of this.
Yes, that's right.
Let's say if we had been running
But
that.
you still have to specify the file.
No, I'm specifying only the directory name here. So it takes everything which is in this /input/net directory. There could be hundreds of Excel
So in that directory, it will part.
map and part. No, it will have, depending upon how many reducers it runs, it will have that many files created there. I don't even care. I say whatever it
But
created.
is it clever enough to pick up
The part files.
you only have to pick up
No, it will only create the final output as like name and emails into one or two files.
metadata thing, something like that. No?
No, it's just an underscore success
Yeah,
file.
that success is
Success is 0 bytes anyway, so it doesn't
So
matter.
it doesn't.
Right. It will probably, yeah, it doesn't care about that. It has nothing in it. A blank file with
It probably sees
no
that.
values.
Like, you're like index files. Like, so it knows the whole file is spread out amongst the two of them.
Shashi, one thing I noticed when I was testing was that if your input directory has more than one file, it does not work.
No, it works.
It will work. The only thing is they have to be the same thing. I mean, they have to, if it is an Excel file,
They
it
should
has
be
to all
compatible
of
with each
it,
other, is what he's
You
saying.
cannot have a mix of files, and you cannot have subdirectories. And that's what we learned in the first case.
For example, in my case, my input file was the ibm.csv finance data files. So if I had another file in that same directory,
And if it had
But I think it depends upon which particular thing you are choosing as the source. Are you taking it as a file or a Excel, or are you taking it as something else?
it all depends on the regex that you have when you specify it. If you end it with a subdirectory
right
and you
here.
put an
but that's my point. If you have multiple files, then you need to specify that maybe use the regex regular expression
Yeah,
to.
I'm not using it.
And you be careful there when you're using regex that to make sure that it doesn't.
Or you can say star to pick up all the files in that directory.
They still can't distinguish between a file and a
Subdirectory.
It's the same.
So I'm not giving any, I'm just giving a path. So it's actually going to pick up all the files within this /net directory. So that other pipeline I built earlier is going to dump the files blindly, and then this one is going to pick up all the files in that.
Yeah, for my Windows case, I had to terminate that path with a double backslash.
Oh, okay.
To tell that that's the end and no more this thing.
Yeah, what this says over here is something like this. If a directory is specified, Then specify, are you saying terminate the path with a slash?
Yeah. On Windows, you have to terminate with a double slash, but it has to be the backslash, double backslash.
Okay, but this seems to work, so I'm happy with this. But I don't know, we'll figure it out. So this is /net. So in this one, what I did was I wanted to drop out. I used Ravi's logic, drop out the
Header.
header information. So if the offset is not 0, then just
Then only send it out.
Yeah, so don't send it out. So that's what it's doing out here. So just that part. And actually, you do have the body coming out. You don't have to delete this offset or something in the output schema. So it's the offset and body coming out again, but it won't have the offset which has the offset equal to 0 in the output. Right. So that's the. So this one here is then decomposing the body part into its individual parts. So I want the name and email extracted out of the body. That was doing input field to parts. So it's a CSV parser object this time. All these are lying in the transform part of Hydrator. So you just pick up CSV parser and it just takes this, sends out the name and email, right? And then
question for you: can't we have all the parsing happening with JavaScript?
Yeah. So the first one was a JavaScript to just drop the header out. So it'll drop out the first row. And then this one is the parsing. So it's going to parse the body into name and email. And then the next one is again a JavaScript, which is what it's doing is I tried to say that if it is a null value, so which is getting marked as this special character right over here. So as long as the input is not, name is not null and oh, this is not right. It should be input.email is not equal to null and input.name is not equal to null, then send the output further out. So clean it up a little and anything that doesn't have. So the nulls are appearing like this special character actually in the file for some reason. So, which you can see when you're doing your eyeballing it using the initial preview, right? At that time, it will show you these nulls as something like this. So I said, pick up these characters and if they are in that row, then ignore that row and send the name and email out. So this is wrong here. It's saying name. Again, it's saying name. It should be email at one place and name for the other. Right? So with that decomposition and this JavaScript done, then there's a distinct aggregator. So I use this one. So it's so this aggregator will just take out all the distinct and you have to mention comma separated. What do you want to make distinct? So name and email should be distinct. This is where the deduplication happens.
So name and email that you want or just the email? Both.
I took both name, comma, email. As long as they're already figuring somewhere, treat it as, you know.
The same email can be used for two names.
Yeah. No, well, yeah.
Two names. Yeah,
Well,
two names.
Yeah, you know why?
Name plus email combination should be unique.
Yes.
But again,
If there are two names.
My email, if you are using my email, it will be unique. But again,
This will only filter it out if, even if I'm using your name, I should have a different email ID.
The other way around.
Or if I have the same email as yours, then my name is different. So it's okay.
Correct.
I want that row.
It will be unique, but that's not our aim. We only want one email ID.
No. I want, if two people have the same email ID, that's fine. I want them to be separate. Then it should send an email out. So then there will be two emails going to the same email ID against two different people. But sometimes our emails are generated in such a way, we say, dear so-and-so. So it's a dear Shashi Prakash, dear Suri. Two emails will go out, maybe to the same email box. So that's okay. It's acceptable to me. Anyway, I mean, this just to demo the concept. But you're right. You could just take just the name if you want, or the email. And then the output is just name and email. That's it. And after that, I just send it to this HDFS. That's where the pipeline terminates, and you get these a CRM dump. Just give the output path, and it will just dump it in the output path. Now, one thing I did was I gave a time suffix format. Once you give this time suffix format, the advantage is every time you do a run, it's going to create a brand new file. It won't bomb out saying it already exists. Right? So that's what you could do, Ravi, in your case.
Okay, that's good.
You not delete your file and rerun your pipeline.
Okay.
You can just keep running forever.
So this will it attach the timestamp to the file name?
Yeah, it suffixes the timestamp. So I think if I go to now, I'll take you to my Hadoop cluster, and we can see what it dumped over there. So it's like, so let me get connected. So if you see Hadoop fs -- what was the name of that? Input / CRM something. It should show this full thing. It's not showing that. Never mind. So go back here. Or let me just do /input. So it's, a directory was created with CRM. Directory called CRM something. I will show you that. So there's this CRM directory created, as you can see over here. I think that's the one we are looking at. So input /CRM. And within that, it should have created some outputs. So if I do /input /CRM, see now all these different timestamps.
Okay, but there the timestamp itself is a subdirectory.
Yeah, so it creates a subdirectory brand new. If you were to read, otherwise, if I didn't have that timestamp suffix here, it would create, it will bomb out because it would already pre-exist. So, yeah, this way it will just keep, every time you make a run, it's a new subdirectory created and the file resides in that.
And that was specified in the HDFS plugin? Sync?
Yeah, time suffix format.
Okay.
HDFS plugin. So this way it will not bomb out. So
okay, that's good.
That's a good thing. And you see this is date. So it's day, hour, and month. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Minute. It's day, hour, and minute. I just took that part. You can also add, if you want the date and the year and all that kind of stuff.
If you didn't, you can only run it every day or something.
Yeah. So this was like on the 28th of May, and hour 2 and minutes 52. So this is the latest one. So probably on the 28th at 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 22 o'clock. Right? This will be the latest. So if I take a look at that, it should give me actually the actual output. And then CRM / I just copied this one. /star. So it should show me. There. So it shows you all these.
You can't make it all.
Yeah, it's line by line, name and email ID. So you get all of them. I am definitely, there's one place where I'm getting still this out here. Even this is unique. So, it's like.
That was the error.
Name is null and email is null. But
It could be blank.
It could be blank. Yeah, it may be a blank or something, whatever it is. Yeah, but it at least reduced. I mean, I'm not getting 10 of these, I'm just getting a single one. Because there is some rows in there which have nothing in them except.
Can you show the output where the error was dumped?
Okay, right. So the error, actually what I did was, in this line that I built, I think I'd removed that error part, or did I have it? I don't have an error collector here.
Okay.
In the other one, I had the error collector, and that was going to that error file.
I needed this one because you preclude the error.
Yeah, but it doesn't, as long as I handled it with a JavaScript or something, it goes okay. And it didn't bomb out. So it's like errors are not occurring in this case. I think this part where I was trying to do this, like if you find name to be null, so it did pick up the name null, but the email null got missed out or something. I don't know what. Yeah, name is happening twice there. So as long as name is null, this will be true. But what if email is null? Then it will be false. I don't know. We still need to see how clean this is, but it worked pretty good. I only have one row over there which is okay. Hannah won't be offended. Now I can simply give her this deduplicated file.
But the only thing is you can't send it back to your root system.
You could probably send it. I haven't played with that. You can, instead of using the Hadoop cluster, sending it to Hadoop cluster, you can send it to your local directory. But yeah, so the way you do it is if you were to go to, let's say you want to create a new pipeline. So you go here, right? So when I was creating the stream, which is to import the Excel file, that's how you create it. You just go create, give it any name, give it any description, and when you do next, you see there's an upload data here. You click on that, and it allows you to upload a file from your local directory. So if it's a CSV file, you can simply upload here, and then that can become the source in your pipeline.
But again, this will only work for that person who is using from his local, right? You create, let's say you put it in for your CDAP. You can access within that lab.
Right.
I don't know. If I don't have that path in my local.
What happens is when you do a stream like this, it generates a data set for you. In this case, what happened was when I built this pipeline, I'm running it against only the CSV file that I loaded into this, which means at the time I created the stream, I made a fixed data set with that many records in it. You want to make it more flexible so that tomorrow you want to add more CSV files to it. Then it won't work off the bat like that. You'll have to add extra files as well. I'm wondering how that will work.
Just open your stream.
This one? This one? Oh, okay. If you were to see what happens is once you have deployed the stream, you can only clone it. So let me clone it and show you what I did. So now I've got this version 4 created, right? So this is the way I built the pipeline, right? So this is the first one, which is a CSV file from HDFS. This is a stream. Oh, actually, this is an HDFS one. Sorry, let me just go back. I'll go back. Let me take the other one, which is, let's see, these are the pipelines we have. The first pipeline I created was actually this one, right? So this one succeeded. This is how it was. Let me clone it. So now we have this version 5 created for it. Okay. So this is the one, this is a stream object. I'm just taking a CSV file, dumping into HTML. That's all I'm doing here. On this, it's showing you, see now there is no path or anything here because I created a stream. When you create a stream, you're creating a data set.
Yeah, in the stream template, you had specified the path file to be uploaded.
Create, and you can create a stream here. Let's say if I call it test. Now I'm creating a new stream, test stream, right? Here it will, I can say now in this stream, I want to add a data file. What do you want to add? So I can go over here, or maybe downloads.
So that loads it into
See, here's one CSV file. I can load this CSV file into this stream and finish it. Oh, failed to create stream. Why?
The name was go to general information.
Huh?
First one, yeah.
Yeah, the plus sign.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks, Ravi. I missed that. It should be underscore stream. You can't do plus something. So I uploaded the data, right? APJ data or something. So I just finish it. Now what will happen is it's loading it. See, it's right here. It's loading all that data. That's a huge file. That has got several 100,000 records or something. So it's,
Can you show me the list of streams that we have created?
yeah. So now either I can let it load or I can.
Yeah, here it goes.
Because it's a long, big, I made the mistake of choosing a big file. So it's doing it anyway. So it's loading it. Okay, now it got loaded, right? Once it's loaded, you can even query it. Or you can view the stream details. So we created that stream essentially. It's showing you out here, right? So see over here, now there's a little icon here called explore. Click on that and see over here it's saying select star from default stream, test stream, 500, so it will show you 500 records. Let me make it smaller. I want only 50, right? And you execute it. So it's going to run this, and you can click on this. It's showing all that. So this is the data that came in. I don't know, I picked 50, but it's showing me fewer records for some reason. 500 will give me more. So if you were to do 500, execute. So now it ran it again. And I can check it like this. See, there's more data now. I don't know what's going on. It's
Looks like some bug.
yeah, it's showing fewer records than I expected, but I don't know why that's happening. And what is this for? And you can also download, I think, like click over results. Okay. Results have all, oops, it keeps going off. Have been downloaded once, run the query. So this is how you can query in general, like have my records gotten in or not. Here, you want to see where are all the streams you created? See right here, stream object, that's stream. This is the one we created. It has 700,000 records, so it's 701,000. Each record is counted as an event. So there's 81 megs of data in this file, the data set that it just uploaded.
It's like an RDD.
So now it's like a data set available to you. You could create a pipeline that uses this data set.
Not like a pipeline where you can click on it.
Stream is just one kind of like a data set you created. I have a stream object created, and this stream will always contain these records that I just uploaded. You mean you want to add more records to it? See right here, there's a send events over here. Okay. If I click on that, now you can upload another file to it. Like if you do this.
You clicked on the same thing and you can, so I can refresh the data, the stream.
Looks like what you can do is now, right now there are 700,000 events in it, right? You want to add more events to it. So you want to add another data set or another file. Then you could click on this little icon here. Send events. Click on this and upload the file. Then it's going to, yeah, that's how you can keep on adding more data.
It's dynamic enough to ask compared to.
So yeah, whatever.
What I'm saying is now you created it.
Yeah.
My access is here, and I put one file and let it.
Yep.
Just let you know what
You could add your own file to it from your laptop. I added mine. You could use yours. As long as you have access to this environment, you'll be able to do it.
But then that's the good question after that. If he adds this content field, do you have to run it again?
No, it's just that the data set got more expanded. It has
I understand, but first time we did an example,
there is a reverse action number 2 is dumping or it's
right, but the first time you had to run it, execute it. Now if it's finished.
No, I didn't execute anything. I just loaded.
This is example, you already had the pipeline.
No, the pipeline is not built yet.
Is not it coming to
This so far I just created a stream, not a
Yeah, but so this is better pipeline.
The stream will feed a pipeline, right?
Now you first time through, you can execute it.
Right.
Now,
I could
you
more
want to
Yeah, you could do that. You
Right,
could.
that's what I'm saying.
put garbage
Ah.
and this pipeline will
Do you
drop.
have to run it again, or just?
Well, now I get your question. So what Suri is saying is,
Just one day.
yeah. See, the one that I used, for example, was let's see.
I come in, I dump some garbage into the
It
stream.
automatically goes through.
No, it won't go. Whenever his pipeline is open, and he has to open the pipeline, my garbage will try to go into it, and depending on whether it will get clogged or it will get clogged.
Because his pipeline, he specified one day, right? You don't really have the time.
But see, this stream over here is the next.
He says one day. Does that mean within that 24 hours, anybody puts the in there?
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. For one day, I think I can send events to
One
the
day,
stream.
right? So
One
if
day.
you put more in it, it'll
So the
go.
duration
Tomorrow
that
you
you
won't be able
mentioned
to.
was stream to be active.
I don't know. I'll have to check what that one day
That's
means.
nice.
There is some definition given for that. I didn't focus too much on that. But see right here, this is the stream, the net CRM stream I created, and you can send more events to it.
I was saying, if you put it in there,
So then now I'm adding more emails. So Hannah can use this, upload another CSV file to it, and run it.
my question was, do you have to run it again?
So if the pipeline is being scheduled or is it active?
She had a 1-day duration on it.
The pipeline can be rerun. Once she uploads another file on this,
The question here. You created a pipeline to get something. So you ran it as a standalone one-time execution job.
yeah.
Other than that, you schedule it.
You can schedule it.
Okay. And can you keep it on running until it is?
Yeah.
I don't. We don't know about the.
You can keep it running forever,
like if it's
right?
Finish processing the input from the job end, or will it just
So you
waiting
can
for more things to come in?
right. So there is a scheduler possible. So you can say, run it every day once, or run it every 2 hours, right? So the stream will run. It will create an output folder in HDFS, and it might have the same data as it was earlier because nobody added extra files. But let's say I went in and I changed the stream over here, netCRM, right? And I just
While it is executing an account, when you are executing an account, more things.
now you're asking.
That was the question. That's what I was asking.
Now that I haven't
That was
played
why you had that
with.
one
Now
day
you're getting
thing.
into it,
So
right?
you don't need to schedule it.
Yeah.
I keep one, what do you call the job, perpetual job running?
Yeah,
Perpetual job is continuous.
one is equal to one.
And people keep on adding.
People, yeah, I mean, there's like
Right.
information is
Timeline.
coming in.
That's
Yeah, but that's true. You could, I know that in CDAP, you can also create a streaming source. Which means, let's say you're picking up anything coming at a port on your server.
Right.
Streaming data. So it's like,
Yeah, it's just like your
it just can keep on and on.
all real time system.
A never ending
So,
stream of data
Yeah.
coming in. So it will
Real
keep taking
time.
everything coming in. And you can schedule it like anything coming in.
Like a listener, you know.
Yeah, it's like a listener. So it can be streaming in the sense real time, or you could make it just listen every 1 hour or so, or every minute, and pick up whatever is lying in a certain folder.
in that case, for that job to end, someone has to kill it.
Yes. Right.
Yeah,
Stop.
it's scheduled to run, so it'll keep running.
Or there should be something called a sleep and
Maybe you can build in some logic
Or
to
you
say
put
only
the
run
logic
this.
when you get no,
run
shut
for
down.
5 minutes,
Yeah.
run for 5 minutes, sleep for an hour, run for 5 minutes. Sleep.
But now the output would be just concatenated, I guess.
Overwrite. What is the end result you want to do is what your logic is.
Yeah.
I'll delete the test stream because 700,000 records is going to fill up our server. So let me delete this out. So that's what I played with, So it's something interesting. Good points that to note is that output can be suffixed with a timestamp.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I liked was the error collector.
Mhm.
It's a good thing. Yeah. And it doesn't require any kind of input at all. You just drop a box error collector.
That means it's parallel processing. It's
Yeah.
JavaScript environment.
It's like over here, if you see, if you were to create,
It
let's
looks like
say,
it's in parallel, but it's
a new pipeline, then you could use any. So see, in these sources over here, there's no HDFS. Right. There is a database, there's Excel, there's file. Most likely,
This is for the speed.
I use file to specify HDFS. So you pick up the file and then you can use this and then put the path over here as HDFS something. That's assumed to be then coming from your HDFS. That's how I did it. So that's how it works. Because there's no HDFS here. In the sync, there is an HDFS. They should improve this a bit and maybe put some.
actually,
If they put an icon here for HDFS, you don't have to type in HDFS colon switch.
but logically,
Doesn't matter. It's, for them, it's just a file. Whether you pick it from the local file system or HDFS or some other URI, maybe it could be FTP.
Under the same, why you justify to the thing?
because
Or that one, because you want to send it either to an HDFS or you might want to just create a flat file or Avro kind
They
of.
could have just said file and you could have specified it.
Over here, there is no file though, see? There is no sync called file.
So that makes me suspicious and
The files are of specific types. It can be an Avro file like this is. The Avro file.
Oh.
There are some, or it could you send it to an HBase or database or key value file. or a Parquet file, or here there is a text file here, snapshot text. I don't know. I never saw what this does.
Snapshot.
Maybe this is a
I
snapshot.
probably used it for like one thing with me,
Right.
so it's a snapshot you can test it.
Yeah, I don't know what this does, but you could look at it like from here.
But by default, all
There is no
HTML
reference.
files
It's something
just
new.
Files. But if you want to really check this out, you have to write out multiple outputs.
Yep. And you can also apparently make it run some actions, like you want to do a delete of some files. If you're running it. So this is another thing you could do, Ravi, that in your pipeline, you can say delete my file and give the file name in this.
Mhm.
And it will actually give the path to the files to be removed.
Mhm.
Remove those files, then run your pipeline. So it
Oh, okay.
automatically clear out the junk,
Right, right.
That's a good feature. And you can run something in SSH or some command on the Unix server. These are actions you can take. I haven't played with these, but something to look at. And so that's the action part. Okay. Something throws out here. So this is the error collector. This is where I took it from. You can just send errors out to this error collector from anywhere. And this is the analytics part, the deduplicate, distinct. These are all analytics. And this naive base, I was able to do the trainer, but I haven't been able to do the classifier yet. So I just basically created a pipeline. So we don't need all this. So let's see, I created one spam classifier pipeline, right? The stream over here is unclassified messages. So this I borrowed from CDAP itself. You can get, they already have unclassified messages. The output is has timestamp and headers. You can't remove this because it's grayed out. So initially you take that to the stream name. So there will be some set of data in it. And sending out a body. The next part over here is the projection. So I'm just feed through drop. So I want to drop PS. So this is doing nothing but just simply dropping the timestamp and header. So in the output, you still specify timestamp header over here. You don't have to leave these out. It allows you to. You don't have to because we're already dropping it. That's the second one. Then the third one is this naive base classifier. So you give a file set. You can give any random name to this. And the path, you have to give some name to the path to which it's sending the output. The classifier, naive base classifier. And the input over here is this message, because I think the input is coming from this one. Here we are saying I added this extra field called message, send that as the output from here. And then that becomes the input to this, the input. And the output is message and is spam. So, wait a minute. Something is not right. Okay. Spam is a string that's going, okay. Fields to, okay, the field that we are classifying is message. And the prediction field, because whenever you create a classifier, it will always be like, what are you trying to classify? And which field are you using to classify it? So I'm calling a field called, is it a spam or not? So yes, no kind of a field. It's spam, and message is the one we are classifying. These two are going out, but they are going into. Okay, so this pipeline actually, sorry, this is not the trainer. This is the classifier, the final one which will run. Take a data set and then classify it. These are your spam messages. These are your non-spam. But before you build this one, you have to build a trainer pipeline. So that one I did, and this one actually was failing and the other one was working. So the one that works is actually this trainer, right? It's pretty straightforward. You take a stream and you do, classified messages. The stream is just taking from what I got from CDAP, from Cask. It's sending out a label and a message because that file is divided, tab separated, like label, message. Is it a spam? Not spam. spam, message, ham, message, it's kind of like that. So those are the rows in it. So this is a JavaScript that just takes like sending out. If the input dot label is spam, then send out a 1, otherwise send out a 0. This is an example from CDAP itself, so I just copied it. Here, this is the trainer properties, so it's just give it a file set name, give it an output, and then fields to classify message, prediction field is spam. So the spam field is something that this JavaScript created. It's saying output.isspam. If the input label is spam, then feed 1.0 into isspam field, otherwise feed 0.0. So this field got created here. It wasn't in the input. Right? That's just simple 3-step thing. And it actually failed. I don't know why it failed, but
Look at the logs.
I think it actually worked. Let me see. Is there another one I created? The trainer actually worked. Oh, I know what happened. Trainer is failing on the Unix file system in our Amazon. The trainer is working on my local file system. So I also have this running on my local Mac machine. So if I go here, so I created on Mac, it works perfectly fine. On Unix, it's failing. So let me show you that. So on my local, if I go like this, my CDAP pipeline is probably stopped. So let me just CDAP.
CDAP space SDK space status.
Trying to see where it's residing. Anyway, let's see if it's in my path, it will work. So CDAP SDK start, right?
Status.
So see, it's not finding it because I have to go to my CDAP directory. Downloads. So now I'm in my downloads directory. So it's got, see the CDAP SDK 411, that's the directory that contains the entire CDAP thing. Here it might, so I have to go to, I have to actually say bin/CDAP. It's residing in bin directory. So bin/, bin. Oh, sorry. It's, sorry. Let me go to this CDAP star. Oh, it went to the wrong one. So hold on. I have to go to this directory. So CD to this. Yeah, that was the old one. So I have to go to this newer version. So go to this one. Right?
Yes.
Now it should, if I give like bin/CDAP start, now it's going to start it. So now it will run on my local laptop. And on the local laptop, that spam trainer works, but on the Unix server, why it's not working on Unix. That's why it was showing as failed over there. Now see, I've started CDAP locally. If I go here now and refresh it, show the CDAP working. See right here. So this is running on my local laptop, and I have some. If you see the pipelines, see this trainer. I was able to make this guy work. Succeeded. Same thing that I showed you. It has 5,000 records, which are classified as spam or ham. Where? On Unix, I don't know why it's failing. It's
Can we see the logs?
yeah. On the Unix cluster, the file is already existing. That's why it's not writing. We'll have to see the logs here, and let's see. So this one works, right? Basically, it works, and what you could do is, for example, if I clone this, say, so this cloning allows you to do a preview, right?
Yes.
Clone it in the preview mode, you'll at least see what's going on. So it starts the preview, and the logs will start showing up. See, it started all this pipeline previews running, log jobs running. Oh, what happened? It failed.
Error. Let's just click on that.
Failed.
Not this error.
No, because there's a directory already existing. That's why it's failing. So we got to delete it.
Okay.
No, wait, not that. something else.
Yeah, this one, no, just above that. This one, yes.
The input RDD is empty. Oh, the file set is empty, it seems. Let me see what's going on. Let me cancel the logs. It's saying, if you look at the stream, so something bombed in this JavaScript.
Yeah, your first stage input, nothing is there.
Yeah. So the stream is not bringing the records in, it seems. So let's go to the stream.
You can see here only.
You can see the records there.
Not records, whether your configuration is correctly specified or
I
not.
want to see the stream I created right here.
Okay, okay.
These are classified ones. This is the stream I used as the input, which has 5,000 records, right?
Ah, yeah.
If I explore this, it should show me. Let's move this. So if you execute it, it finished. See all these messages?
Mm-hmm.
These are the ones that Cask has already got. I created a stream with all these messages. And
what I'm saying is, in your first stage, let's look at the configuration of this first stage of the classifier, of the trainer.
Of the trainer.
Yeah. So the first stage, yeah, this stream, then the
click on. That's 5,000 and it succeeded once. If I run it again.
This is deployed.
Yeah, this is deployed and it works. Because this is showing these records properly.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm trying to clone it, it probably doesn't bring the data. Oh, this one failed too this time. Yeah, it's checking, it's saying the stream cannot be read or something, right?
Error, you have to look at the first error. This is a warning.
Yeah,
just above, yeah.
This one.
Input RDD empty.
Some guava was not delicious enough. Spark submit Scala.
The very first line it shows input is empty.
Yeah. Program terminated with exception. Guavas and then Spark core run. Where is that? Input is empty.
Right, very first line of the gray section. No, in the grayed out background, the very first line and end of the first line.
Yeah. Oh, this one, right? Oh, input RDD is empty. Oh, okay. Because running as I'm trying to run it as a Spark job, I think. Oh, that's why it's failing. In MapReduce, it probably will work. See right here. So let's see it again. So what
I change it to MapReduce.
I can't in this.
Oh, okay.
Because deployed.
Okay.
You can't change it to MapReduce.
Yeah.
So what I'll have to do is clone it. So I have to go back.
Click on settings again.
Yeah, settings, right. So now I'll first clone it. Save it. Go over here, change the setting to run it as a MapReduce. And then click on settings again. So now it's set to MapReduce, right?
Yeah. You can preview it now.
Let's preview it, right?
Yeah, and run.
And then run it. Right. Now it will show you what's coming in, what's going out in different stages, hopefully. And the logs will start running here. Oh, it failed again. Okay, something else is wrong. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it's doing a Spark.
Is it still doing Spark?
No, should not.
This is the error message. See the RDD empty. Yeah, it is running Spark.
Yeah, so Shashi, click on logs again to come out of logs. Yes, go back to click on stream, the first stage. Yeah, click on configuration tab. Yeah, let's see what's specified here.
Classified messages stream. That's the stream I'm using. That's it.
What is RDD?
Maybe I need to give a 1 day over here. It doesn't matter though. It's not mandatory.
What is RDD?
RDD is a Spark object. It's a data set that's created by Spark. Yeah. So
It thinks you ran it already.
Huh?
It's already empty, meaning you already ran it successfully.
yeah, since I think I'll have to re-upload data into the stream before running it or something like
In the
that.
stream.
It's taking it as an empty stream. You can't upload data to the stream sitting here in the pipeline. I think they should have,
So let's look at the classified messages stream structure. Go back to overview.
yeah, then we can't, you want to save this or leave it? Let's go to,
You tell me one thing, the stream, once you have consumed the data from the stream becomes empty.
it's looking like that. That's why probably we're getting this error. That's what I'm trying to figure out. See this classified,
we use the stream.
I'm using, see this stream, classified messages, and it's got this many events. So it should work, but it's apparently it's not working. Because if you explore it, it's showing you the stuff. Like execute, shows you that it's there, I think.
It's finished.
Oh, see it's showing all these, all the data is there.
This says finished too.
It says finished, which means the data is there in this stream.
It's processed.
And
Click on programs.
Yeah, at least that.
It'll tell you who all are using this stream.
so it ran 4 Spark jobs, phase 1, phase 1, phase 1. Somehow taking it as a Spark.
No, this tells which pipelines are using the
This stream.
this stream. Yes.
There's a word stream using it, unique count, word counts.
So your application 1 is spam classified trainer. Then 3 more names should appear.
This should show something.
You can also click on the eye symbol on the top. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that we saw.
Oh, that we already saw. Okay.
It's trying to.
Only the other one, only there's a green, what is the circle going on?
Yeah, it's trying to tell us it's still working on it.
Yeah, it's fetching the.
Fetching something. Why is it showing as empty? I don't know. Maybe if I create a new one, it'll work, like in the sense, if you do this, let's create a new stream. And I'll call it task classified messages, right? Let's call it that. And no, wait, not, I won't, sorry, not like this. I'll do it a different way. We'll go to Cask, the CDAP marketplace, so Cask Market, and look at their data packs. This one, this is the one I'm creating. Load it. Do next. Creating a stream. I'll call this stream as Cask classified messages stream. Finish it. Oh, that's fine. So I'm just going to. So that's done. You could obviously view it. Go here. On show, it shows somewhere else. Explore. So, I don't know. For now, let's just go because created that stream for us. Now I can build a pipeline. If you go to pipelines and clone it, save it, and this I'll change this one to use the Cask classified, the one we created, right? Now let's try to preview it. Oh, failed again. So it's exception, this one. Field messages cannot be set to a null value.
Look in your JavaScript.
Oh, it did bring something in there. See.
Look in JavaScript.
I need to probably send this not to the JavaScript. This should first go to some.
That's your JavaScript is doing. Yeah, here's the error. Nothing in the output mapping.
Yeah. So
So look at the configuration.
something is not right. Output message equals input dot message. So this is dot, right? So this is dot. Label is spam. If input label is spam, make it 1, otherwise 0. This is just taking the creating a field called output, and basically it's just in output, it's an FTP, and it's sending a message and a spam field to the output. The message is simply the input, whatever's coming inside. Output is simply what the label is. So message and label. See, this is asking for a message and label. That's not there in the input. That's the problem. So I think in the stream, we need to have in the configuration, we need to create this as tab separated and remove this body and call it label and message. Now it should work.
How does the messages work?
Huh? See, this is an input is a tab separated seconds. So I'm saying in this, what we need to do is whatever the input is, we want to send them out as label and message, just 2 fields. And there is a header and timestamp. In the JavaScript, we are saying just see, now we have got label and message. If the message, just take the message as it is and send it out. And for the label, if the label is spam,
Yeah, this part is okay, but you'll need one more step before that, where you break the body into a label and a message.
No,
it's already done.
Are done?
Over here, it got done when I did this.
Okay, try running it then.
Label and message, right? Now let's run it and see if this works. Oh. Now what happened?
Debugging is not really good on there, right?
Output directory already exists.
Output exists. This is easier.
Yeah.
Data namespace, default data, model data. That's why it's causing a problem because the directory is existing. Download CDAP. Data namespaces, default. Oh my God, we'll have to delete.
No, why don't you delete?
Yeah. Which delete?
That one delete.
Oh, the delete action? Yeah. Right.
If you appended the timestamp like you did, would that work?
We could do this.
Remember on the output?
Still, I haven't checked it. I don't know, this is a different one. That is.
Yeah, I think we'll have to delete this one. So one way to do it would be go here and delete it. The directory is right here. Now let's run it. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is getting a trial and error thing. So it's like, let's see, this is the error this time. Same one. So I didn't delete. CD. No such file or directory. No such file or directory. Wow. Oh, file. Hold on. There is an output. Data and metadata. So which one is it complaining? Why not just delete the whole damn thing, right? Data we do need. I think metadata is it. Output slash data already exists. Oh, output data is existing. So we need to delete the whole output thing, I think. So we'll, okay, this is, here we've got output. So we'll just remove the entire output. Now let's try it. It should run now. So let's see this. Okay. Right. This should work. Yeah, I just deleted the output. See, now it worked. So the preview succeeded. If you look at this, so it sent out all these records to the out. See, this is the stream's output. So it'll show you all the records. The first thing, right? This is the JavaScript. So that sent these outputs out. Like a 1 or a 0. Right? And then this was the classifier. So this is the final output. Same thing, 1 or a 0. Now this is the trainer one. So this works. The classifier pipeline I built did not work. I'll have to figure that out. But this, now that you have this trainer created and it has this configuration where we are saying model data is a file set name, basically create a classifier after that and use the same this same data set. And then it should pick up any file you want to classify with messages in it. And figure out if it's spam or becomes, but that part is not working. So I just showed you something I'm playing with. It's like partially done. It works on my local like Mac, this one, but this same thing doesn't work on my other one, like on the Unix server. But the other thing we need to see is what settings. We are running this as a Spark job. Maybe it will work as a MapReduce as well. I by default ran a Spark job. Okay, so that's about it for today. I guess enough learning. The tool is not bad, but we got to figure out how to make it work. So let's play around with it and see how it. I think it will be a good idea if somebody can try doing some of these transformations and analytics. In the analytics section, we have logistic regression. We have this group by aggregate has already tested now that Ravi ran it on that IBM thing. We need to see this logistic regression trainer and the classifier.
One question.
By creating another pipeline for the classifier. So there's, if you see this analytics, there is this naive-based trainer and a naive-based classifier.
Yeah, they work together.
Right. So once you first create this stream, which uses the naive-based trainer. This is just for training your model. Then you'll create one more pipeline. That pipeline will have the same model data set like this one. That links the two together, and it will say whatever logic was used in the trainer, use it on this unclassified data set that I'm giving you. And classify each row as a spam or a ham. In the trainer one, we already classify messages as spam or ham and run it. So that trains the program. It knows like which one is spam. Looking at the message, because if the message is this, it's a 0 or a 1. If the message is this, it's a 0 or a 1. So that it figures out in the training data set. Then we give it a data set which it doesn't run it. And that data set is just our random messages. It doesn't have a classified message. So we say that use the trainer that you earlier used to figure out if these messages look like spam or ham to you. So then it just basically, there is a built-in program that actually then figures out if there are words like UUU, HHH or something, it's most likely a spam. So it just, yeah, right. It tries to then figure out like if that was a spam there, it's probably a spam. So it calculates that on its own. So we don't have to worry about how it's doing it at this moment. But yeah, as a part of data science, we do need to learn that. But we'll be in the future once we'll try to run this spam, this knife-based classifier, and we'll also try to look at this logistic regression trainer and the classifier. So maybe if somebody gets a chance, try to see if you can make this logistic regression classifier work. The examples are given by Cask. So if you go to Cask, the CDAP product website, or
Cask Market.
I mean, there are videos available to you, and it's either at the website or is it on the documentation. Right over here, data pipelines. I saw the videos somewhere. Like I saved it. Like I do have. Let me remove this bookmarks. There is right here videos. So at this link, cask.co resources videos, you'll see all of these different videos. This is a hydrator demo. There's a Spark webinar. Or you could go to YouTube and find out. I'm sure there's one on logistic regression as well. Yeah, no, it will work somewhat similar to what we are doing for the spam classifier, but we need to see how to make it. So if you get a chance, try to do it. If you don't, that's fine. We'll try to build something else. But now you can play with these kind of pipelines. So good learning, I guess. We are progressing. Oh, this didn't record or something? I think it was on recording. Hold on, I'll stop it. It's on this one. It wasn't the link. No, it is recording.